Big move coming. We got a list for you of some shocking free agent targets for your Kansas City Chiefs here on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones, your fearless leader, here with you. Thanks for joining us. We will go over our full list of names of who could end up in Kansas City here in this second wave of free agency here in just a matter of moments. Before we do that, folks, this is March. The big dance is upon us. I'm rocking with my Hawk out. Rock Chalk, Jayhawk, go KU. Let's get a big win against Arkansas here, folks. I want to know, who are you rooting for in March Madness? Spam your team in the comments, whether you're like me and rooting on KU, maybe you're rooting on Mizzou or somebody else out there. Get that chat. Shout out the team that you want to see holding up the trophy when it's all said and done. I'll be in San Antonio for the Final Four here in a few weeks. Hopefully KU's there with me. Spam your team in the comments, and we'll get started with today's show. You want to talk about surprises? Here's a sneaky one for you, folks. Von Miller, the star pass rusher from the Buffalo Bills. He is a future first-ballot Hall of Famer, and he was just a menace to deal with when he was with the Denver Broncos, when the Chiefs had to go up against him all those years, went to the LA Rams, and then he spent the last few years with the Buffalo Bills. He's not the same player he used to be, but if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you don't need him to be that player that he was in his prime years. I think this could potentially be scary for the rest of the National Football League when you look at a Chiefs defense that's already good, and you have some key pieces up front that can hold their own, one of the very best in Chris Jones. George Karlaftis is emerging and looking like one of the best young pass rushers in football, and you bring in a guy like Von Miller potentially into the fold here. I think this would be a fantastic fit for the Kansas City Chiefs. And you look at Von Miller and his statistics. Sure, he's not the same player he was a few years ago when he was with the Denver Broncos, but he is still very good. Last year with that Bills defense, had 6 sacks, 8 QB hits, 7 TFL, 17 tackles. You go back to 2022 when he had 8 sacks, 12 QB hits. That 2021 year when he went from Denver to Los Angeles, had 9.5 sacks and 17 QB hits. I think it would be hilarious to see him going up against his former team and all that as well. I would love to see the Chiefs find a way to bring Von Miller in, let him chase another ring. I am a fan of this idea. What do you guys think? Von Miller, a Kansas City Chief? It almost sounds blasphemous, doesn't it? He's still what I think of that era of Broncos football from many years ago. Weigh in on our pinned comment today. S for sign, P for pass, if you think the Chiefs should sign Von Miller or not. We are covering the Kansas City Chiefs each and every day here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report, as we are all over NFL free agency, and we're getting close to 70,000 subscribers, so less than 20 away from reaching that next mark. For daily Kansas City Chiefs news and rumors, sometimes 2 and 3 videos a day, live shows each and every Tuesday, in addition to breaking news, Q&A mailbags, and more. You got to be subscribed to the channel. Lock us in. Stay up to date. If the Chiefs make a move, sign one of these players we're talking about or somebody else out there, we're going to bring you a video and react to it as quick as possible here on the channel. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. You'll be glad you did. Next up, we find Stefon Diggs, the former Houston Texans and Buffalo Bills wide receiver on our list. And there's been some rumblings about Stefon Diggs, but it would still be a surprise if he ends up in Kansas City. I think it'd be a great fit for this Chiefs team. You look at the receiving core right now, and this is pretty solid. When you are talking about Hollywood Brown making his return off of injury, hopefully he stays healthy. Xavier Worthy had a breakout rookie campaign. Rashee Rice, I think, is turning into a star, and you're going to like what you see when he gets healthy. Juju's back, but you still have some uncertainty. Will Hollywood stay healthy? Are Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy going to be suspended potentially? You bring in Stefon Diggs into the fold, and you don't have to pay him a ton of money. He's going to be looking for a prove-it contract of sorts wherever he goes. And prior to that injury last year, he was still playing some really good football with Houston, close to 500 yards receiving, 47 catches. The years prior to that, 1,100 yards, 1,400 yards, 1,200 yards. 8 touchdowns in 2023, 11 in 2022, and 10 in 2021. and he's still searching for that ring. I still think back to the image many years ago when Stefon Diggs was with the Buffalo Bills, and he was looking at the Chiefs celebrating as they won the AFC Championship, and he was sitting there kind of taking it all in of wishing that was him. And if you can't beat him, join him, right? I would love to see Stefon Diggs here. I think he'd be a good fit. Speaking of good fits, another one, if you're looking at receivers, that I think would be cheaper than Stefon Diggs would be former Seattle Seahawks wide receiver Tyler Lockett. We know the story about Tyler Lockett, spending his entire career in Seattle, just a pro's pro, both on the field and off the football field, and everybody likes Tyler Lockett. And then the story on top of that, too, playing his college ball at K-State, just down the road. His dad, of course, played for the Kansas City Chiefs. He grew up in Tulsa. This would be an awesome match. It would be a homecoming for Tyler Lockett. He's never got the chance to play for a Super Bowl in Seattle. This could be a good fit in this offense, and you don't have to break the bank as well. Tyler Lockett, he didn't want to leave Seattle. He made it very much known that he wanted to play his entire career with the Hawks. He didn't get that opportunity to do so. If you're looking for a storybook ending to Tyler Lockett's career, if it can't be in Seattle, I think Kansas City's the next best option for him to potentially do so. And even though his production has gone down the last couple of seasons, he still has plenty left to offer. And if he comes to KC, you're not asking him to be the number one or the number two receiver on this Chiefs receiving core, but he can still very much be an impact player. I would trust him a hell lot more than I would Juju Smith-Schuster. I could tell you that for certain. Who would you rather sign between these two receivers? Stefon Diggs is probably going to cost you about at least $11, maybe $12 million. Lockett, probably about 7 or 6. Which one would you choose? Type SD for Stefon Diggs. Type TL for Tyler Lockett. Weigh in the comments section and let us know which one you would like to roll with between these two receivers there. Today's show, we got a great offer that we're bringing you, Chiefs Kingdom, as we have polos on sale now for up to 50% off at chatsports.com/chiefpolos. And you can see we have the striped version, the gray, we got the red, all sorts of different polos to your liking. And we also have other Chiefs merchandise available. At that same link, chatsports.com/chiefspolos is where you can get yours today and check out all of our Chiefs merchandise. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. That's Chiefs Polos on sale now for up to 50% off at chatsports.com/chiefspolos to get yours today. Up next, let's stay with one other rival. We talked a lot about Buffalo and Houston. Well, let's head to Baltimore now, is where we find Marcus Williams, who's had a very good career in the National Football League. First with the New Orleans Saints, then joined the Baltimore Ravens. And I know that he got benched last season, but this could still be sneaky good. And you look at this safety room for Kansas City at this point. Justin Reid's gone. I think Jaden Hicks is going to see his role increase. But you would still like the ability to find a way to use 3 safeties on the football field. And I don't necessarily need Marcus Williams to be a full-time starter, but if he can be that number 3 safety and allow Spags to get creative with those 3 high safety looks, I think that Marcus Williams could be a potential good fit for this Kansas City Chiefs defense. And we know that Spags loves his defensive backs. He's made that known with how he has structured this defense over the last few seasons. You don't have to go too far back, 2022, when he had 4 interceptions in a single season. I don't need him to play every down, and if there's an injury to one of those other safeties, Marcus Williams, I think, is more than capable of getting the job done in a spot start. I would like the idea of Marcus Williams coming to Kansas City potentially. I got one more name to get to here in just a bit, but I want to hear from you guys. Who's a player the Chiefs should sign? Weigh in the comment section and give us a name that you would like to see end up in Kansas City here in free agency. One more name for you. Let's go to the offensive line now. This is where we find Brandon Scherff, the former Jacksonville Jags offensive guard, and he's had a fantastic career. He's been to the Pro Bowl. He was named a top 100 player in the NFL a couple of years ago, and he's been just solid throughout his career, and I don't know how many people have noticed because he's done so in lowly Jacksonville. But even as he's gotten older, he has still held his own. An overall grade of 64.7, a pass block grade last year of 74.5, a run block grade of 57.3, and we still have some question marks when it comes to this offensive line situation for Kansas City. There's rumblings about moving Kingsley over to the guard spot. Maybe Brandon could potentially slide in there, and Kingsley could come off the bench, or Brandon could be a backup option potentially. I think there's ways you can get creative with this and have a solid depth piece that's been able to get the job done before and be what you're looking for without having to pay a ton of money either. This might come as a surprise to a lot of folks, but I like the potential move here for Kansas City. Didn't allow a single sack in 1,000 snaps last year. Only got called for 2 penalties. He doesn't make a ton of mistakes. And that's what I'm looking for. I don't need guys to dominate when I already have guys like Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith that can do that. I just need guys that can hold their own, and he can certainly do that, I think, and would be a welcome addition to this Kansas City Chiefs offense if they were to sign him. There you go. That's our full list of some potential shocking free agent targets for the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see if any of them sign there. If you made it to the end of today's video, you know what that means? That means you are a real one. Spam real one in the comments section if you survived this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Stay tuned to the channel. Lock us in for continuing Chiefs coverage. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.